Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Dr. Johnny Isaacs with Isaacs & Isaacs General Dentistry, which is located on Bobolink Drive in Springfield. And as we're recording this, we're right in the middle of the holiday season. We recently had Thanksgiving. We're getting ready for Christmas, right?
We just came off Thanksgiving last week, and now we're heading into Christmas, so 'tis the season. And when I say 'tis the season for toothaches too. We see an increase of a lot of kids will have toothaches this time of year, and also adults. And I used to not realize what was doing it, but now there are several reasons. I think one is that during the holidays, we tend to eat things we're not really accustomed to. People will have things out there you're really not even sure what it is, so you try a little bit to be polite. The next time thing you know, you're biting into something you weren't sure that you didn't have a nut in it because you didn't fix it, you didn't prepare it, you weren't sure what it is, so you bite into it. So we haven't seen a lot of people fracturing teeth off and their partials, their dentures whenever during the holidays. It probably doubles. Probably the denture repairs probably double during the Christmas season.
Really?
And I think probably because of that. The peanut brittle, a lot of people eat that, which they'll never eat throughout the season. But sure enough, somebody within the next few weeks will have several people come in and say, and oddly enough, they want to tell you what they were eating. So I get a lot of that. So you get a lot of that too, what people were eating. So I thought we'd talk about that.
So it's not only eating the candy that kind of rots your teeth out, it's also things that can potentially break your teeth.
The unknowns, right? Yeah. Because we all do it. I was thinking, I was at my aunt's house last week, all kinds of stuff laid out on the table. I didn't know what was in the casserole. Didn't really care. It looked good, so I put a little bit on my plate. But we're biting into stuff we weren't sure about. And you can put. I'm getting off subject a little bit, but the human mastication capabilities, you can bite down about 1,100 pounds per square inch of force on those things. So you think about that. If you got a weak tooth or a decayed tooth, it's going to break. So that's what that is. But what I'd like to talk about too is my wife was just down here. Pam was here, and we were talking about holidays and what we have out. And if you notice, you always have a lot of candy laying around. Mm-hmm. There's even here in the dentist office, girls will bring it in and people will bring it in. We had a patient this morning who brought us some candy, so we'll be nibbling on candy throughout today. Well, you say, what's wrong with that? Well, not just because of the weight. Everybody was worried about those 10 pounds you're going to gain during the holiday season. You're also going to cause tooth decay. And we brought, I'm probably going to have a piece here later on, but in order for teeth to decay, from tooth decay, you have to have four ingredients. You have to have a tooth because it only the gums won't decay because of the bacteria in there. A partial plate. I've had people tell me that their partial was decaying. That plastic does not decay. Other factors contribute to the leaching out of the chemicals sometimes, but it's not the bacteria. So you have to have a tooth surface in there, which is enamel with surface with minerals in it. You have to have bacteria, and we have about 200 different kinds of bacteria in our mouth, but only a couple of them actually cause tooth decay. There's something called Streptococcus mutans, which is the primary bacteria, and then there's Streptococcus lactobacilli and sabrinus too, Streptococcus sabrinus also. But to the largest extent, it is the Streptococcus mutans. So it's kind of crazy to me that out of the 200 bacteria, there's only one that dentists really have to worry about as far as tooth decay. That's the primary one. There's other ones that cause other things, but that causes tooth decay. So you have to have that. You also have to have food. You have to have a fermentation of a carbohydrate, which is primarily sugars. And there's three main types of sugars. We have glucose, fructose, and sucrose. And sucrose is the big one in here, which is what these things are made out of. And that's why sugars break down the bacteria. The Streptococcus mutans can turn that sugar into an acid immediately, so they don't have to break the food down. So that's why when you take sugar, immediately you're going to get that acid in your mouth, and it's going to start the decay process.
So it starts right away?
Right away, as soon as you put it in there. Now if you don't have sugar, and let's say you're eating a piece of meat, that has to, the meat has to be broken down into its primary elements, which will have sugar in it too. It will be broken down into it, and that's when that's when the bacteria will formulate on that. But it's primarily the sugar that does it. Okay, so let's say we have to have that, and time. The fourth thing you have to have is time. And everybody's a little bit different. How much time that bacteria in the biophase has to sit on the teeth in order for it to cause decay. And why is it different on some enamel? Well, some enamel has more convolutions in it. Enamel we think is very smooth, but it's actually, if you look at it under an electron microscope, it looks like mountains, kind of crevices in there. I think we talked about that before. So
a lot of ridges.
Yes, a lot of ridges in there. So that's another thing that you have to worry about, the time. And if you're a diabetic, you don't have as much saliva. Let's see, if you got Sjogren's disease, you also don't have as much saliva. And antihistamines, which we all take a lot of antihistamines in this area, that decreases the saliva. So certain factors like that, and other genetic factors too. So those are the four things you have to have. It's tooth decay. You have to have your teeth in there. The bacteria, the food, and it has to stay on there a period of time, indefinite period of time. So that's why it's important, as soon as you can, get to your toothbrush and get the stuff off. We say 2 times a day, and I know you and I have discussed before, it actually, if you could brush more than that, have at it. Go ahead and do it. I've never seen anybody brush too much. I've heard people say that they wore their teeth down because they brushed too much, but with these soft toothbrushes, it's very tough to do it. And I think I've told you, one of my nervous habits is brushing my teeth, and I'll do it constantly throughout the day. And I don't have any wear at all on my teeth.
Sometimes it's the gums that get affected by that, right?
The gums will get pushed down, and then when the gums get pushed down, then the teeth will wear at a faster rate, too. And, in between your teeth, where the teeth touch, I didn't bring a model, but right underneath there, it takes about 4.5 years, kind of crazy, but it takes about 4.5 years for the bacteria constantly attacking the interproximal area of those teeth for it to break down the enamel. It's that strong. So if you get it off every day, you're never going to have tooth decay. The problem is we don't do it with our culture and our habits that we have. We just don't do it. I say this a lot in my office too. You could put me out of business if you do exactly what I say. And when I tell it, we're not going to do it because we're all human and we like this kind of stuff. And who's going to take a piece of candy and eat it and then go brush your teeth? You'd be a lunatic. So you're not going to do it. But if you can do it, the faster you get it off, the better off we are.
Now, are there certain candies that are better for you?
Well, yeah, I guess you'd say it's still better for you, that are not as destructive to your teeth.
Right.
Because candy's not good for your teeth. However, the rule of thumb that probably the better it is, the worse it is. But no, the chewier, something real sticky that will stay on there longer. So, but to me, it seems like but if you like chocolate, to me, there's no difference because it's still got the sugar in it. It's really the amount of times you did it. And I think I've said this before on here too. You could take a big cup of sugar, and if you ate that in one sitting, you wouldn't get tooth decay. But if you had a little thimble, and about every 10 minutes you put your finger in it and you licked it, you're constantly feeding it. So it's not really the quantity. It's how long the contact is with your tooth suffers. So that's another thing that I like to emphasize. And I have people coming in here with the toothache, with coming in for a cleaning or something, and they'll sit their Mountain Dew right next to the chair because they've got to have the dew, or it just seems like to me it is because it's got more caffeine to it, and we get addicted to the caffeine. So you have to have that. So that's a problem.
So a lot of people get toothbrushes in their stockings at Christmas time, but maybe you need to get that a little earlier so that you can be utilizing it throughout the holiday season.
Well, you don't have to go overboard, but we do. We as dentists say 2 times a day and brush twice a day, floss daily. If you did that, you'd be doing pretty good. When I was growing up, it was 4 times a day, but we know since we're on the run, our lifestyle, we don't eat a lot of meals at home anymore. We're always on the go. So if you can get 2 in there, I think you're going to beat most of the people that I see. But it's amazing the number of people that we act like we don't have time for it. So you got to make time.
And come in and get your checkups here regularly too, because if you do miss days, then
Sure.
every 6
And
months
we
come
take,
here and you get cleaned
right,
up.
and we take x-rays about every 2 years or so. It used to be, some people need them every 6 months because of their susceptibility to decay. Some people every year. Some people, they're okay. Some people, we'd say that they refuse x-rays. We'd recommend them at least every 2 years. But man, some people, I haven't seen any decay on them in years, so they don't really need it. But what they need is they need to get the tartar taken off their teeth, which doesn't cause decay, but it causes gum disease, which can lead to decay because then you've got the root surface showing. So since I have this prop here too, let me real quick just show you this. Of course, this is a tooth. This is a cuspid, a canine tooth. So you have the enamel, which is very hard, and then you have the dentin, which is softer. So we kind of peel it away, and if you wore the gum area down, you wouldn't have the enamel to protect it. You just have the dentin, and the dentin is about 2.5 times softer than the dentin is 2.5 times softer than the enamel. So the disease process will go faster to the nerve. Once it hits there, then it hurts generally. But once it gets to the nerve, you have two choices: either get the tooth out or do a root canal on it. Nobody likes either one of them. So go ahead and brush and floss daily and keep the dentist away. You can keep me away. I don't have to go. So I'll find something else to do.
Exactly.
We'll do television.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing TV. So that's some good advice around the holiday times. And you can come in to Isaacs and Isaacs General Dentistry, and if you do have some pain, give them a call. What's the phone number here?
The phone number is 859-336-7680.
Again, I'm talking with Dr. Johnny Isaacs with Isaacs and Isaacs General Dentistry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Gary.
And Happy New Year.
Yes.